So have you ever had a job that you really liked, or something that at first you had all the energy in the world, you had all the drive that you needed to really become successful at this job. But, as the years wore on, all of a sudden you lose all of that desire, all of that drive that you had. Where did it go? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about fighting burnout this week on episode number 99 of The Relaxed Male. Hello and welcome to Relaxed Male, a podcast that helps men change their relationship with themselves. I am your host, Brian, and I am a men's life and mindset coach who is here to help you understand that you don't have to suffer at your own expense. You can live your dream, and I encourage you to set, then pursue your goals. So join me as I change the mindset and attitudes of men so that they can be the leaders of their families and their destinies. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Male. All right, guys, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to listen. This is the Relaxed Male Show. I am your host, Brian. I am a men's coach, helping men to find their drive, their passion, their desire, their need to succeed. And to do that, I help you get out of your way. That's what this show is about, is getting you out of your own way so that you can actually live your life on your terms and be able to actually sit back, relax, and enjoy the successes of your life. I want to recognize real quick you new folks who are coming in. Our numbers are slowly increasing, growing, and man, I am so grateful for the fact that y'all are taking the time to actually listen. I ask that if you come across anything that you find interesting, inspiring, anything along those lines, to share it out, share it with your Facebook friends and groups, and share it out on Facebook and all the other social medias. You can Twitter, do it on Instagram. If you're on Parler, Getter, D-Buzz, whatever it is that you're on, Ecency, those things, share that out, share it with folks. Let's get more people interested and listening to the show and actually start building this group of men so that we're able to help each other become the great men that our society actually needs. So today I'm wanting to talk about fighting burnout. There is a lot of problems that happen to a man whenever they come across burnout. They may be incredibly driven and proud of what they're doing, but all of a sudden the job itself loses the fun, loses the passion that you start off with. And sadly, that is something that happens to so many men, so many people throughout the world. And men in particular, it's one of those things where it can be annoying burnout, or it can be such a severe burnout that actually it'll actually cause a man to kill himself. Burnout is one of those things that doesn't get addressed, and at least in my thoughts, don't get addressed nearly as often. And there's reasons for burnout, and there's ways to be able to fight burnout. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about this week. First off, I want to kind of pose, a lot of people hear burnout and they think, oh, well, I'm just tired of this. That's burnout. It could be a bit of burnout, but what burnout actually is it's the physical, emotional, and or mental exhaustion that you get from doing something that's not quite in your zone of genius. A lot of times we will take a job because, well, we need the money. And then we stay in that job and we keep going to that job. And you start feeling that, a year, 2 years goes down the road, and, you get the call from the boss. Hey, we need you to come in, today on Saturday. And you're like, oh God, just give me a weekend. Come on, man. All right. I faced this really bad whenever I was working in the oil field. Anytime I got home and that phone rang, my stomach sunk. There were several times where I would just get home and I'd be home for like an hour and a half. And then I'd be getting calls going, hey, we need you to go out again for the over here. And it's like, Jiminy, man, I am just getting home. My clothes are not even finished doing doing the wash yet. Or you wouldn't hear anything. You'd go for a week of not hearing anything. And so you're like, all right, well, we've got some things we need to get taken care of in the city. And so we would drive an hour and a half, 2 hours, to the closest city from where we live, and it would never fail. The moment I crossed that the city limit sign, ring, ring, ring. All right. Hey, we need you to go here, pick this up and go someplace. And it was just like, dude, all right, well, it's going to be an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before I get there, because I'm over in Oklahoma City right now. And I've got some stuff I really needed to get done, but I was waiting for y'all, and y'all weren't calling. I wasn't getting any news. And there's a friction that happens, and that whole friction that builds up becomes where you dread a phone call. You dread going to work. You enjoy Friday evening. You got all Saturday, great time, Sunday up until about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And all of a sudden this malaise just kind of sets over you. That is that sensation of beginning to burn out. And that's when you really want to start being able to pay attention. What causes burnout is actually what you're doing is not feeding your soul. You're not feeding your soul in a particular way. You have a very, unfortified soul pillar. If you want to use the 4 pillars of a relaxed male, this is what happens when that job is just a job. It is not your calling. It doesn't meet with your calling in any way. Maybe when you joined up and you started working for them, you didn't even have a concept of, hey, does this feed my soul in any form, fashion, or another? Or maybe you just don't have a hobby that feeds your soul to give you the energy to be able to do the day job. There's a lot of things that happen. A lot of people who are in a job and they start suffering from burnout, it's actually because Gay Hendricks has a book called The Big Leap, and he talks about there being 4 different zones that people are able to operate in. There's the zone of incompetence. This is the stuff that you just can't do. There's no way you can do it. So you have to outsource it. There's the zone of competence. You can do it. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. It's like me in Photoshop. I can get some stuff done. Photoshop is not my zone, is my zone of competence. I have no skills or very little skills in working in Photoshop itself. But if you, put me in front of Audacity, I can edit a podcast like no one's business. That is the zone of competence. I can change the oil of my car, but you know what? It's easier just to pay a guy to change the oil. I can mow my lawn, but it's just easier to just have somebody else mow it. That's a zone of competence. Things that you can do, but it's probably better if you actually just have somebody pay somebody to actually come over and do whatever that service is. Then there's the zone of excellence. This is where a lot of people reside. They're good at what they do. They can do what they do, efficiently and well, but it's like a puzzle that it almost fits together. You put it together. It's like, hey, yeah, they fit together, but it's two different ends of the board. The picture itself doesn't match up. So yeah, it fits, but it's not the right piece. And so the zone of excellence, you're able to do real well. Cliff Ravenscraft, used to be known as the podcast Answer Man. And that was because he had set his name up to be a known expert in podcasting. But what ended up happening is through the 15 years of doing that podcast, he realized that he wasn't actually helping people with podcasting so much. And anytime anybody wanted to talk to him about equipment and how to get this set up or troubleshoot this, he could do that, but it was just one of those like, oh, really, man, I just don't want to, he doesn't want to talk about the details, the nitty gritty of podcasting anymore. And he he actually realized that his actual zone was more into actually coaching people and helping people to get a business up and moving. So he actually progressed into helping people change their mindset about what they think of on business and money and things like that. And so your zone of genius is that place where your soul really sings. And that's the 4th zone that Gay Hendricks talks about in The Big Leap. is your zone of genius. This is the place where you all the passion you have is just naturally born there. It is the drive to keep doing that, to keep going and keep talking about whatever it is you talk to me. I love coaching. My zone of genius is in the area of coaching, to be able to help men, to see men struggling, and to help raise them up so that they can get over that obstacle that they're facing. And that's what I like to be able to do. The zone of genius for me is coaching men. So the zone of genius is really, if you looked at it, kind of like in an engine. Your zone of excellence is you're running an engine with no oil whatsoever. All right. It is, you're just grinding metal to metal. It's not going to work. You're breaking down almost instantly. The zone of competence is you're below level and you're not quite getting enough oil into the engine. Yeah, it's going to run, and it's going to run for a little bit, but it's going to break down really, really fast. The zone of excellence is you've got the wrong type of oil. You're getting it oiled, but it's not the right type of oil. Maybe you're supposed to have 10W30 in there, but you've got, 5W20 or whatever. Or maybe it's too thick. And so it gets in there, but it really kind of is gumming the works. You put, transmission fluid, or not transmission, you put, hub oil into your engine. And so, yeah, it's going to go, but boy, you are just, there's still just a little bit of friction. It's not the right stuff. The zone of excellence is that proper oil. It is the highest grade oil that you have in your life. And so the friction is almost entirely removed. And so, because you're going to have some burnout, even in your zone, when you're working in your zone of genius. Maybe you're doing something, you're trying to get a business going, and you're just pushing like a son of a gun to get that business up and moving. And you're fighting everything, and you've got a big launch coming up. And so there's a lot of rush and a lot of energy and a lot of mental work and all that. And once the launch is done, it's, everything releases, and you just almost collapse as a puddle of goo on the ground because you've spent everything about you, poured it all into this initial launch, and it was successful. But you've got to take, you have to take a break after it. Burnouts happen. Burnouts are a part of life. You're going to be doing stuff. You're going to get burnt out with your kids, especially if you have one that's maybe special needs. It's going to take a special attitude and a special line of thinking to be able to really sit down, focus, and to give your children, your special needs child, the help that they need. They're going to need a lot more extra. And you're willing to sacrifice those things that you really wanted to do, but you're not going to be able to do because Billy is not able to do all the things that you wanted him to do. Maybe he's bound to a wheelchair. So maybe you do. There was a dad who used to go run marathons, but he had a special stroller set up so that he could put his 18 or his adult son, who was wheelchair bound, into it, and he would run with his son. He found ways to be able to meet his demands, feed his soul, and be able to incorporate his son's special needs into his life also. So there's a lot of, you can work in your zone of genius. But if you have to really pay attention to what your mental state is, what your mindset of that situation actually is. Now, there's a lot of problems with burnout, and I wanted to go ahead and address those because burnout is one of those things that can either be a slight irritation, or, as I said, there's a reason why Sunday night, Monday mornings are the highest suicide rates in men. There's an interesting correlation with that. Sunday nights, Monday morning, all of a sudden the dread of going to work is just so great that they can't go on anymore. And so they do something very drastic, very horrific that just leaves their family in a world of chaos and suffering because they couldn't face that burnout one more day. Now, the problems can, like I said, are physical, mental, and then there's actually some emotional issues that come about. Physical problems are range from anything from high blood pressure, and high blood pressure, again, also leads to heart problems. High burnout, is a type of stress. It is where your levels of stress got so high. So everything that stress applies to your body is going to show up and manifest itself in here. So in your physical problems, you got your high blood pressure, your heart problems. You're going to have weight gain because stress releases a lot of cortisol. Cortisol is your body in panic mode going, well, we better save food. We better save all that energy we possibly can. So it starts packing on the pounds. You get headaches, overall body aches, and you're going to have a problem with a limp noodle from time to time, and you're going to lose that libido. You're going to have either a general lack of libido, or it's going to disappear completely. And maybe your wife is feeling a little frisky and you're just going to be like, well, I'm not really feeling it tonight, honey. I just want to go to bed. Mental problems arise where men become a lot more irritable. They resort to anger a lot more. They can't focus on things. They're trying to do something. And because of work and everything else that's going on, they can't focus. Because they can't focus and things are not syncing up. There's a lot more sadness and even depression. That will often leads to a lack of sleep. Emotional problems, people seek other forms of escaping. You start using buffering. They start eating more. There's increased alcohol intake. They revert over to drugs. Like most of the time, it's usually like pot, but it can go even worse. There's even guys who are just looking to escape the stresses of their family, might even go off and do something as drastic as having an affair. So what are some activities that happen in your life that actually contribute to burnout? There's things like a to-do list, that never-ending list of things to do that you keep adding, and it's gotten completely out of hand. It's completely just blown everything out of the water. You look at it, it may be 4 pages long, and you're going, holy crap, how am I ever going to get all this crap done? How am I going to get this done? That unruly to-do list can be a cause of that burnout because you're not seeing the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. You're not seeing those benefits. You're not giving yourself the rewards for completing those to-do lists, checking something off that to-do list. Another thing is you're not finding the right support. If you don't have that pillar of community, a man's community pillar available and readily available, and you don't have that inner circle, that band of brothers to actually be able to turn to that brotherhood of men, that band of brothers that you've got, if you're not turning to that group, that tight circle of your friends, and being able to trust them enough to give them your negative thoughts, your struggles, and problems that you're having, you're going to start trying to internalize that. And that's where a lot of the burnout comes. That's almost the tinder for the burnout. That's that buildup of unsupported emotions comes into, it's almost like metal filings in that oil that I was talking about before. It's really going to accentuate the issue and cause the problem to get even bigger. As I said, also, it's not in your right zone is another way to increase your burnout. So you want to make sure that you're going to be operating in your zone of excellence from time to time. And that's okay. Short periods of time, little seasons of your life, zone of excellence is fine, but you want to make sure that you're applying everything to that zone of genius. If you're under a lot of pressure, that's going to do it. I mean, that is the pressure that pushes down on you, that creates the extra friction that causes your life to heat up to the point where you're burning out. You're not getting any type of relief from work, from family, from the neighborhood, whatever it is. You've just got it. It seems like it's coming at you from all sides. That's a big way that causes burnout to happen. Another thing is taking on just way too much, man. You've got to be able to set boundaries and learn to say no. That is the biggest thing that men especially nice guys. Nice guys suffer from burnout tremendously because they're always trying to appease everybody. And so they're going to take on way too much. They increase their life. They suffer because of all that excess, to do stuff that they have to do. Oh, I've got to make sure that I get this report done for John. I got to get this done for so-and-so. I've got to get the fence built, and I've got to get that, and I got to get this and this and this and this and this. And they take it all on. And then they wonder why their life is a disaster because they are not taking little bites. They're trying to eat the whole elephant in one gulp. And it's not possible. Now, the dangers of burnout are, as I mentioned before, they're going to be anything from just a lack of overwhelm, or a feeling of overwhelm, if I can say the words correctly. But because of the physical problems, you're going to suffer. You're going to have issues where you might have a heart attack, stroke. Diabetes is actually related to stress and burnout. If it's stress related, there's a chance that that's going to happen in your life if you do not address the burnout that you're coming across. But also depression's another big problem, which depression can lead, if it's goes untreated, can lead to suicidal thoughts and tendencies and the like. So how do we extinguish the burnout? How do we apply enough lubricant to be able to get through whatever that problem is in our life? Biggest one is, man, stop, take a break, breathe a little bit, enjoy the sights around you. Stop, smell the roses, gather you rosebuds as you may, however you want to look at it. You have to stop and just breathe. It may be that you just take a day off and just tell the boss, I'm not coming in today. I've got to take a break. I've got to do something. I've got to relax. I'm going to the zoo, man. Give yourself a breather. It may be a day or two. If you can take an extended break. A lot of people, now this is more something that wealthier people are able to, but take sabbaticals. This is an extended break where it might be, sabbaticals used to be where they would take a year off. But maybe for you, it's 2 weeks off, or if you're able to take just a month off and just you turn your back on work completely. Everything that work related, can you turn that off? Can you step away from that and just give yourself an extended break where your mind is doing anything other than that? That is an incredible way to be able to revitalize your thoughts, your emotions, and the physical aspect of what you're doing in your life. Also, make sure that your tasks are aligned with your zone of genius. That's a huge one. Get outdoors. I mean, besides for the health benefits of getting outside, getting that natural vitamin D that your skin produces, getting the exercise, getting fresh air. I mean, there's a lot of good that happens just if you get outside. And if you don't have an extended amount of time, try to get outside for 4 days. That way you get the 3-day effect. And when you're out there, you leave your phone in the car and just enjoy life and nature around you, and allow your body and your mind and your soul to slow down just a little bit. You've been hitting that red line. Bring it down to idle for a little while and just let everything cycle and breathe a little bit. Another thing that you can do is simply flat out just say no. Your boss comes up and says, I need this done tomorrow, and say, well, sorry, boss, it's not happening. I've got this right here going on right now, and I've got this, and you can say, I've got enough on my plate. I can't do anymore. No, I can't do it. Now, your boss may still say, you turn around and go, well, you have to do it. I need this done by 4:00 this afternoon. Say, all right, well, that's fine. I will get that done, but none of this other stuff's getting done. And then you proceed to do it. You've made out that boundary. You laid the boundaries of what you're going to do and not going to do. If he wants that report done, you'll do that report, but he also knows that nothing else is going to get done that day. Find a hobby. Hobbies are cool and great for one major effect. It allows your mind to shift gears, to downshift and go into a different mode of thinking, because you might be all analytical, but if you come over and all of a sudden you are in like RC planes, then the means of what you're applying to piece together an RC plane is a completely different set of skills and way of thinking than it is with you trying to, you're trying to set out TPS reports. Talk to your band of brothers. Again, use your band of brothers. That community pillar is probably the most important pillar out of all the 4 pillars. And that one is because it supports everything. You need men to be able to help increase your mind. You need men in your life to help increase your body. You need men in your life to help increase the sturdiness and the fortitude of your soul. So getting into a men's group helps out tremendously. To if you want to be able to get into need a men's group to join, I've got the Brotherhood of Men. You can go to relaxedmale.com/brotherhood and be able to join that and start being able to build that pillar. If you're needing that, delegate. Just because somebody hands you something you have to do doesn't mean you actually have to do it. It just means, dude, you need to find somebody who will do this for you. And so you can be able to go off and delegate out. And another way is sometimes you just got too much crap in your life. And so you need to eliminate some things. If you've got 37 projects and 30 of them are not serving you in any form, fashion, or another. And yes, you have to start being a little selfish in that way. And being selfish doesn't mean you were selfish. It just means that you are looking out for yourself. But if 37 of them are not serving you in any form, fashion, or another, and they're not important in the grand scheme of things, then get rid of them. Delete it. Remove it. You can actually 86 stuff, send it down put it into file 13, and no one's going to be the wiser. It's not going to hurt you or do you any harm. I pick up projects and I put projects down all the time. Nobody knows, nobody cares, nobody even bothers to mention it. But the biggest thing is just step back, breathe. You might need a 5x5 from time to time, but you can actually relieve the chances of burnout. Burnout is so damaging. I mean, just for your heart, body, and soul. It's not good for us. We face it. Yeah. And having it in little stints is not horrendous. But when you are in a constant state of burnout, that's where that problem comes from. And want to make sure that you don't have that extended amount of time in burnout land. Yeah. You may have to redline for a little bit, but make sure you have a plan to be able to pull yourself out of that red line, so that you can actually breathe and enjoy the fruits of your labor, because your friends, your family are there to cheer you on as you become successful. And to be able to become successful, you have got to be able to step back, let your foot off the gas, and coast a little bit. There's nothing wrong with coasting. There's nothing wrong with doing a little goofing off. Don't let goofing off be your primary mode of being, because then you're not going to get anything done. You have to apply the gas, and there's times that you really have to push hard, and you're going to have to give that engine a lot of gas to get up that hill. But once you get on top of that hill, you don't have to keep pushing on the gas. You can let off and just enjoy the view of that top of the hill. So guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for all the recent, downloads and listens. That means a lot to me. Please take this, share it out. If you're interested in having some coaching done by me, go to relaxedmale.com and you will see Work with Brian at the top. If you are interested in joining a men's group that will actually get you to a new level, get you up to where your mindset is completely changed and you're looking forward to the next obstacle that's ahead of you, then check out the Brotherhood of Men. We would love to have you there, because we're all there to help lift you up as you are there to help us. This is a group of noble men who are wanting to be able to do nothing more than to ensure that your life is the best. So guys, with that, thank you very much for listening. You can find us anywhere on that you listen to your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can subscribe, follow, whatever the choice is that you want to do. You can just be able to listen, and once you do that, you'll be getting these episodes every Thursday, loaded directly to your phone, ready for you to listen. So guys, with that, thank you again. Y'all take care. Love y'all lots. Talk to you next week. Bye.